Hello and welcome back to another episode of my MotoGP 20 career mode here in MotoGP, and here we are then for the last round of the first season. So I'm going to be doing more seasons after this. I think there might have been a bit of a misunderstanding for some people, didn't realise I was doing another season, but yeah, it's not ending. I will be carrying it on. I'll be doing it alongside my F1 career mode. I'm not doing it the F1 career mode instead or anything like that, so it should be going alongside my F1 career mode still, and I'll still be doing other videos like online, but that's just to clear this up then. So we'll advance to the last race of the season then, the Valencian GP. There is no notifications, the R&D is still as it is, but we'll look at the World Championship then. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, do go check that one out before you see this video, because we're about to spoil what happened in the previous episode. So in the last race then, Marquez actually crashed out, which means he scored 0 points, and I won the race, which brought the championship lead down to 15 points, which means going into this last round, it is still possible for me to win it. It's going to be very difficult. It's going to be really difficult. If I win the race, Marquez has to finish 7th or lower. I think if I come 2nd, Marquez has to finish 14th or lower, and if I come 3rd, Marquez has to be outside the points. Otherwise he wins the championship, because he has more wins. If we had the same number of wins, or if I had more wins, he could finish 6th and I would win, and we'd tie on points and I'd win on the number of victories. But Marquez has more victories this season, so we actually have to beat him on points. We can't finish with the same number of points as Mark, because then he'll beat me because he's had more victories over the course of the season. That's how it works. So obviously we're 15 points going in, so we have to gain 16 points on him this weekend at least. So we have to finish on the podium in this race to win the World Championship, and we have to hope really that something befalls Marquez, because it's going to be very, very unlikely that he would get 7th place. His worst result in a normal race without any incident was 6th place, I believe, so that wouldn't quite be enough. We would tie on points, I believe, if that was the outcome, but obviously he has more victories, so he would win it. So if we have a look at the Constructors' Championship then, I don't think anything can change here. We're ahead of Ducati by more than 25 points, we're behind Honda by more than 25 points, so we're going to stay in 2nd place in the Constructors' Championship. So we have got that 2nd place done, so that is very, very nice. And in the Teams' Championship, it's also possible for us to drop into 5th place in the Championship, because Petronas Yamaha are only 40 points behind us when they can score a possible 45 this weekend. So it is very much possible that we could drop it. Well, it's not really going to happen, I don't think, because Petronas wouldn't get a 1-2 anyway, but I suppose it could happen. So it's possible we could drop into 5th place, and it's also possible we could go up to 3rd since we're only 13 points behind. But again, it's going to be quite difficult to score 13 points over the Monster Energy Yamaha team. But if some sort of glitch happened, like in the previous race where a lot of people got put 2 minutes behind, that could definitely happen. So then, without any further ado, we'll head into this weekend then, and we really, really, really need to try and do well here. So then, here we are in qualifying 1 for the final race of the season here at Valencia. It is all to play for, and it's an entirely dry weekend, which does kind of play to my favour a little bit, because obviously we have been a bit better in the dry, but it is Valencia. Really, it's the worst. Well, it's not the worst track, but it's not a great track to end the season on, because the AI are fantastic here. So bringing back 15 points is going to be hard, because we have to get on the podium, which actually might be a challenge in itself. So in this session then, we've got Nakagami and Petrucci as the two that haven't gone through into qualifying 2. So it's actually probably not too bad. We probably have a chance of beating them, but we really, really, really need to nail these laps here. We can't be making any mistakes. So here we are then in the pits. I'll head straight out onto the track, and we need to try and do some fast laps straight the way, because obviously Valencia is a great track for the AI, but I'm not too bad at it either. I've played it quite a bit, and I am getting a little bit better at it. I used to be really bad at it. I'm not too bad at it now, so hopefully I can get through. I need to get through into qualifying 2, otherwise that's it, it's done, because Marquez just pull away in the race. But we need to try and get pole position really here, so we're going to start here in qualifying 1. We're going to try and start off strong. So then coming through the penultimate turn into Adrian Campos, we've gone in a little bit wide. Obviously at this point the tyres are not quite grooved in yet. You need to have done probably about a lap on them before they stop really, really well. So over the line then, as we go down towards the first corner. Now, we've done well at tracks previously where the AI have been very good. Obviously at Catalonia, where I was expecting actually to struggle quite a bit after we struggled a lot at the previous round of Mugello. The AI are quite good at Catalonia. We actually did get 2nd place there, almost a victory. We were very, very close. We would have won the race if there was one more lap, I believe. So we have done well at AI overpowered tracks previously. We're 10th off in this first sector then. As we go into Nico Tirol, sliding the rear tyre on the curb a little bit. That's probably going to cost us a little bit of time. But to be honest, 1/10 off in the first sector, not too bad on the first lap. We did go a little bit wide into T1 as well, which can cost you a lot of time, because you really, really need to nail the apex of the first corner. down into these double left-hand corners, and the AI aren't too good. You can pass them at here. You could almost be 90 at least anyway. We're 29 thousandths away from the time at this point, so we found some time in Sector 2. So we go through Turn 8. They're not the best Turn 8, I'll be honest. But the first lap is never so good, it seems. Sometimes the first lap is good, sometimes it's not. So we go into Turn 10 then, through Turn 11, trying to pick up a late apex, get on the power as early as you can as well, really, is the key. The key to everything on this game. The fuel actually seems to burn very quickly because we've only got 1.3 laps of fuel left. I'm hoping we actually have enough to do 2 full laps in power mode 2, because if we don't, then I'll definitely have to fill up on the second run a little bit more. We hit the brakes then for Adrian Campos. Once again, we've actually done quite well. I usually absolutely destroy Adrian Campos, and we actually were red in the third sector. I didn't see that at all as we're coming up towards the line then. Over the line, we've gone fast. It's 29.6. We'll keep going. So we're nearly 2 tenths underneath in the first sector, 2 tenths underneath in the second sector, 4 tenths in the third. We're almost out of fuel though. We've got to change fuel mode. So coming up towards the line, then hopefully we don't just run out of fuel as we go over the line. 29.3 then, so 3 tenths quicker. So we'll head back to the pits then. We'll fill up a little bit more fuel than last time so we can go power mode 2 the whole time. So actually it didn't matter. We were fast enough anyway, so I didn't bother going back out for a second run. So we're 3 tenths clear off Nakagami then in this session. So it's myself and Nakagami going through. Petrucci in his final race for Factory Ducati there, not getting through into qualifying 2. So I suppose that does show why they've signed Jack Miller over him. With Jean-Mir then in 4th place, Bagnaia 5th. Oliveira in 6th place, that's pretty good, so hopefully he can try and get us a point in the race. The other are KTMs, then there's a Spagro in 8th, then Binder down in 10th, and Lecuona down in 11th place. But Alex Marquez starting at the back of the grid. Well, he's not going to be able to help his teammate out, and his brother obviously, with the championship then. So we'll start the next qualifying session, and hopefully we've got the pace to try and get pole position. So here we are then in qualifying 2. This is probably the most important qualifying session we might ever do, but definitely the most important one of this season. We need to start up high on the grid, so we have to be on the front row, really, to have any kind of chance of beating Marquez in this race. And of course, Marquez as well needs to have a bad weekend. I might have to try and back up the pack in the race a little bit like we did in Motegi, but obviously first of all we need to figure out where we're starting, because if we don't start on the front row, then that could be curtains. So here we go then, up towards the line, about to start our first lap in qualifying 2. So 3 tenths off in the first sector. We did run really wide through McDimmon corner, so that'll probably be where most of that came from. Only 1 tenth off in this second sector then, so we found some time. 2 tenths underneath in the third sector. So through the final turn, then we did the rewind trick to find out who it was we're against. So it's Nakagami, so obviously we are going to beat his time by a few tenths of a second. Coming up towards the line there, 29.1, half a second underneath. That's quicker than what we did in qualifying 1. I'll keep going, but hopefully we can get into the 28s. So 4 tenths of a second underneath in the first sector then. 5 tenths in the second sector. Only 4 tenths in the third, so we lost a tenth. Out the last corner up towards the line, then we're going to get some slipstream off Nakagami as well. This is definitely going to help us as we go towards the line. 28.6 there, 4 tenths quicker than our current lap. Hopefully that will be good enough for pole position. That's probably one of the best qualifying, it's probably the best qualifying lap we've done the entire season. Little to no mistakes there, so we'll head back to the pits. And hopefully that is good enough for pole position for this final race of the season. So then, yes, that was good enough for pole position. 3 tenths of a second ahead of Marc Marquez. So our first time was pretty good. I think that would have put us still second on the grid behind Marc, even if I hadn't have improved it. So that's quite promising, that even with the less than perfect lap, it was still quite good. Rossi in 3rd place then, so the same starting grid, well, front row, as the previous race. Rossi has been really doing well as of late then. Quartararo in 4th place, Dovizioso in 5th, Vinales 6th, 7th for Rins, and 8th for Crutchlow, so we've not got much chance of Crutchlow crashing into Marquez again then. 9th for Alicia Spagro, 10th for Jack Miller, and 11th for Nakagami, and 12th for Morbidelli. So Morbidelli sort of capping off what's not been a great season for him with 12th place, so he got through into qualifying 2 at the very least, but he did get beaten by Nakagami then. So let's head into this race. The final showdown between myself and Marc Marquez. 15 points is the gap. 7th place is what we need him to finish in. So he needs 6th place to win this World Championship. Obviously, if he finishes 6th or higher, we can't do anything about it. So that'll be Marquez's target. Well, no, Marquez's target will be to win the race, but he needs 6th place. We need him to finish 7th or lower. So there might be some tactics, some holding up tactics coming out in this race. We'll have to see how it unfolds in the opening laps. So here we are then on the grid for the final time this season. Myself on pole, Marquez 2nd, and Rossi in 3rd place. And we're looking at Valentino Rossi So he really has turned his season around. Obviously, he's had some off races as of late, you know, a couple of them, and obviously the last race there was the glitch. But Rossi, ever since the start of the season, he's really improved his performances. Obviously, he was struggling a massive amount earlier on. But here we are then in pole position. This is an extremely crucial race. So 9 laps of the Valencian GP then, which is actually quite long. I wasn't thinking there was that many, but I suppose it is quite a long race. I think it's a 27-lap race normally in real life, which, yeah, 35%. Which, yeah, 35% would be 9 laps, because that's a third of the race distance then, the 27 laps. So I've not really got anything else to add. We need to beat Marquez here, so let's get this race started, and let's just give it everything.
The riders are all on the starting grid. Just a few moments to go, and the lights at Ricardo Tormo Valencia will go out, starting the race.
So there we are on pole position for the final time. We really have improved our qualifying in the latter half of this season, obviously with the upgrades. But the lights are on now. We're waiting for the lights to go out here for the final time of the season. Lights on, away we go. We're moving straight over towards Marquez. Marquez gets the jump on us anyway. We'll try and get the slipstream of him down towards the first corner. We're coming back at him as we go into the first corner up the inside on the brakes. I'm not sitting behind Marquez in this race at all. Marquez behind us, so we've taken the lead into the first corner. I was actually thinking that probably wouldn't work because the tyres are extremely cold, but we are leading the race instantly here, so we don't have to do any sort of games. Marquez made a bit of a mistake. He's ran a bit wide by the looks of it, so I don't know what place he's actually in now. But it looks like he made quite a bit of a mistake there. Rossi is in second place, 4 tenths behind us then. So we'll have to see at the end of the first lap what position Marc Marquez is in. But I saw him run wide. I can't even see him behind us there. So I don't know what's happened to Marc. Obviously there is 9 laps, so there's plenty of time for him to get back through the order. So I probably just need to get my head down and get away now that he's not behind us. But Rossi is still right there, so we have got to watch out for Valentino. Obviously, I don't think he's won a race this season. No, he's not, because there's only been a few of us winning this season. Actually, been quite a few different winners. Marquez has just gone ahead of Vinales. Not sure what place that's for, though. It hasn't told me, so that's really helpful. It's nice to tell me that people are overtaking, but it'd be nice to know what place he's in, because I seem to have some glitch as well where it doesn't show me the timing tower on the left when we go over the line as well. A couple of people pointed that out in the comments, which I didn't even know the timing tower was still there. Oh, it has told me now. So he's down in 6th place, which isn't enough so far, but to be honest, it's quite rare for Marquez to finish somewhere around 6th place. So we go a little bit wide then into Adrian Campos. Is that going to allow Valentino up the inside? No, it's not. We've still got quite a big gap over him then. So Marquez is 6th place. He's had a terrible first lap, but it's still not enough, unfortunately. So Marquez is actually back up into 5th place now, so we do definitely need to do some sort of backing up because he's not in a low enough position right now. There's a big pack of the AI behind us. They're all sort of dive bombing in. Marquez again going wide by the looks of it behind us. I can see him. I'm just keeping my eye on him. I don't keep looking back at him, but I'm just keeping my eye on whereabouts he is. This lap is going to be horrible. It's been so slow. Dovi's now behind him, so actually Marquez is making positions from this, but it wasn't enough anyway, so it doesn't particularly matter. So as we come over the line then, a 32.6 on a flying lap. That is terrible. So Marquez actually did the fastest lap with a 31.5, but we are running very slowly right now. Obviously I am really trying to hold the pace up. Marquez is actually making his way through the pack, so I probably need to slow down even more. Rossi trying to get around the outside, but we're not allowing that to happen, because obviously we need to win the race, really. I think Rossi again's on the right hand side. I've gone a little bit wide to Nico to roll. Oh, Rossi having a look at the inside. That could have been close. Marquez is now back up into 3rd place, so Marquez is really making his way through the order. So I definitely need to try and back up a little bit more. So I have to try and keep my speed up through here so they don't pass me. But you can see Marquez is up into 3rd place. We've ran a little bit wide into turn 11. Actually, Rossi's hit us up the back. No, Rossi's made a massive mistake, but that's allowed Quartararo up into 2nd place. Hopefully I don't have any damage. But Rossi's almost hit us at the back there. I think we slowed down a little too much in the middle of the corner. Rossi's made a big mistake. Hopefully that doesn't affect the group too much. But we are riding very slowly. Marquez is now up to 2nd place. So Marquez has done a pretty good recovery, obviously, to get from 5th. But we have been backing up the pack, so I suppose that's what's made it quite easy for him. But I'm trying to back up Marquez now. Marquez, as we come over the line then, Marquez 2nd place. He's going for the move as we go towards the first corner. I'm moving over a little bit just to be a bit defensive. Alex Marquez up to 9th place. Considering he started last, that's been a very good ride so far from Alex Marquez. Rossi's already back up into 3rd place. So Rossi's taking this seriously. So Quartararo, I think, might have just passed Marquez, and Marquez went a bit wide. Yes, he's kind of mired in the pack. Look at this group behind. This is like a Moto3 race. They're all so close to trying to go side by side on the straights. Obviously, we've got to just keep his eye on where Marquez is. But this holding up is working very interestingly. I think Alex Marquez is up into 3rd place. Alex Marquez for the back of the grid. I'm sure I've just seen him dive at the inside of Marc into 3rd. Quartararo's gone to the inside. Marquez is going for the lead now. We've got a bit wide because Quartararo got through. Boy, he sort of stuck his nose on the inside of us. We've kept the lead for now. Marquez is up into second apparently, but Alex is right near the front as well. Yeah, I can see Alex. Yeah, Alex now is in third place, definitely. So this has been a very, very interesting race so far. I think the entire field is in this pack because of how slow we're going. Marquez is on the back, Marquez is here, so I think he might have lost a wing there. But he's here, it's completely off. That's completely put me off. That's allowed Fabio Quartararo to take the lead of the race. Marquez has now sort of tried to take it as well. We've got the situation of Quartararo between the two of them to go towards the first corner. We're taking the lead once again around the outside, but I think Mark might have picked up some damage from that. I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like he might be missing a wing on the left-hand side now. Whether that will affect him too much, I don't know. But hopefully that'll cause him to go down the order. We've gone in a little bit wide though. Oh, Marquez is going to take the lead though. But we've got to try and strike straight back at him. Here we got the inside. Oh, a little bit of contact with Mark, but he's got the lead for now. Here we go again on the inside. We're being so aggressive with Marquez this race. We're not letting him get away at all. So here we go into this left-hander on the inside, into six, Angel Nieto corner. Trying to squeeze him out on the exit a little bit there. Holding him up again. But me and Marquez obviously seem to have got a bit more pace than everybody else. We're going around the outside of Mark, then into turn 8. We've taken the lead back, but we have still gone in a little bit wide. It's not going to allow Mark through. No, it's not for now. So we've got to try and continue to hold up the pack. But I don't know how Mark is riding. Well, I suppose we are riding really, really slow. But he's riding quite well for saying he's got damage. So then coming up towards the line to start the 6th lap of the race. Marquez is still in second place, but we've still got a massive pack of riders behind us. Oh, Mark's just hit us again. Mark's hit us again now. I've picked up a bit of damage. Whether I've lost a wing or not, I'm not too sure. But around the outside we go. Quartararo versus Marquez versus myself. We picked up some more damage from Maverick Vinales now, apparently. Marquez looking at the inside of Quartararo. I'm on the power once again. And we're going to do what we did to Marquez on the previous lap. Quartararo still hanging in there. They've both got a bit wide on the power, nice and early. Once again, we got the drive. And we're going to look into the inside of Angel Nieto once again. We're going to try and squeeze him out once again as well, right to the edge of the track. We've kind of pushed him off the track a little bit there, so that might have been a bit over the line. But it's alright, he's not lost anything. But he's got the run, actually. We lost time on that. We've hit Marquez now, definitely. So we've picked up a bit more damage there. That was an interesting line. Obviously, I think Marquez definitely trying to make sure we can get back in front of him now. Vinales trying to get out the inside, so we need to try and get past Quartararo once again now, and then get past Mark. So we're looking at the inside of Quartararo. He's left the door open, so we're going to be able to slide at the inside through 11. So Marquez leads the race. So Marquez, even with all these tactics, he's not letting it get to him. So as we start the 7th lap, then 32.4 on that lap, but we are closing back up to Mark. Here we go. Then we got the run on the inside to turn 3. So quite enough. We should be able to get back past him very quickly because we are right behind him in the section where we have been the best the whole race. So through turn 5 then, can we do the move into Angel Nieto again? I think it'll be the 3rd lap in a row we're doing this. Up the inside to Angel Nieto then, trying to sit him up again, squeezing him out. We've actually got away from the pack behind because Marquez has got so much more pace. So we are trying to hold him up. I don't think he's got either wing now. He looks like he's on one of the old bikes before they added the wings to it. It's quite funny. He goes around the outside. I mean, fair play to Mark there. He's definitely had enough of us backing up the pack, but I want to carry on. We can't let him dictate the pace. It's got to be me that dictates the pace in this race. Here we got the inside to 11. Oh, so close. So close between the two of us, but we got that move done. It was a clean move. There was no contact. But Alex Marquez, I think, is up into 3rd place now. Oh, Alex has just hit Mark into the last corner. We've got the wrong gear, actually, out the last corner. That's allowed Fabio Quartararo to hit the front, but Alex has just gone straight to the side of Mark. Definitely held him up a bit there. Petrucci 31. The 31s are still the fastest lap. That's how much we're holding up the pack here. As we got the inside of Quartararo into turn 1. We're not sitting behind anybody in this race. Again, we've got to keep backing up the pack because I don't think Mark is quite far enough down the order yet. Vinales ran the outside, but we've kept in front of Vinales. He's still trying to run it around the outside, but this is my best sector really compared to the AI. Has been in this race at least anyway. I think Mark might have been beat up a little bit now. I can't really see him. Oh, there he is actually. He's still a little bit further behind. But look at this gaggle of bikes behind us. Here comes Maverick Vinales. He's looking at the inside. We've blocked it off for now. This has been a fantastic race. This is what you need to get good racing. When you're quicker than they are, you just got to ride slow, and it makes it way interesting. Look at this pack. They're going so many wide. Well, a lot of them going wide. It's allowed Mark through. They've all just let Mark through by trying to dive bomb me. That's so frustrating. Why doesn't Mark do that? Alex Marquez is now into 2nd place from the back of the grid. Fantastic ride from Alex Marquez so far, but we're about to start the last lap of the race, so we've really got to start backing up massively now for Mark. We're about to start the final lap here. Valentino's got a good run. So we go over the line then, 1 minute 33.3. We're holding up Alex a little bit. Marquez going for it as we go into turn 1 for the final lap of the race then. I don't think we're going to be able to back Marquez up enough. I don't know, he's lost a lot of positions there, but I don't know if it'll be enough. See, he lost a lot of positions on the first lap, but again, he only dropped down into 6th place, which isn't enough. We needed 7th. I can't see what place he's in now, but I don't think that's high enough either. Looks like he's still in 5th place from here, so we're going to have to back up even more. Oh, Rossi's having a look at the inside again. Rossi, man. Rossi wants to win this race. And he's hit the front. He's gone at the right time. But here we go back up the inside, because obviously we've saved so much tyre. Oh, we've kind of sat Rossi up massively there. That's actually might have helped Mark out a little bit. So into turn 11 then. They're all going in a bit wide. Oh, no. Marquez is still in quite a high position there by the looks of it. We've not got the power early enough. We're going to get absolutely swamped here. Oh, we've had contact with Alex. Mark's now had contact with us again. Oh, the two brothers have crashed. They've crashed into each other right at the death of this race. Both the Marquezes have just... Has Alex just had Mark off? Has he just cost his brother the championship? Out the last corner we go then. Oh, is this going to be it? We're going to win the championship because Alex has just had Marquez off. Alex has just had Mark off. And that's it. That's championship. That is it. We did it. We did it. That was the most ridiculous race I've ever done in my entire life. Look at my fastest lap, a 32.4. A 32.4. That's about 4 seconds nearly slower than I was doing in qualifying. And that was every lap. That pack was absolutely ridiculous. And Marquez played it to perfection. He was up into like 2nd place again. And I was like, alright, that's it, it's done. And then Alex, I think Alex has taken him out, or he took Alex out, I'm not too sure. But one of them's crashed. We were having so much contact in that race. It was such a ridiculous race, to be honest. And then 2nd for Rins there, 3rd for Rossi, 4th for Vignales. So I don't think we'll be gaining the Constructor Championship. Morbidelli actually got 5th place, even though obviously he ended up starting 12th. Obviously, it was an absolutely ridiculous race. Anyone could have got anything. I mean, Alex Marquez was up on the podium for most of that race, and he started at the back of the grid. So we really did do a good job of holding everyone up, much better than we did at Motegi. It's an easier track to do it at because it's just such a tight, slow circuit. I was just literally not going on the throttle through the corners. It was great. 6th for Jack Miller then, 7th for Quartararo, 8th for Petrucci, 9th for Crutchlow then. Dovizioso ended up 10th. And bear in mind, 10th is 1.3 seconds behind. 11th for Vermeer, 12th for Iker Lecuona. Iker Lecuona getting us some points there. 13th as well for Oliveira. So both our teammates getting in the points once again. As 14th for Bagnaia, 15th for Abat, 16th for Nakagami, and again 1.9 seconds behind. 2.3 then for Zarco, 17th, 18th for Bradley Smith, 19th for Paulo Espargaro, 20th for Brad Binder, 21st for Leicia Espargaro, 22nd for Marc Marquez, and Alex Marquez retired from the race. Oh, that's unbelievable scenes, absolutely unbelievable. Confirmation there, we won the World Championship by 10 points. Marquez led for 19 rounds of the season. He's led since Qatar, and he's finally lost the championship lead at the last round, mainly because of Hondas, again, taking him out. 3rd place ends up Dovizioso, then 4th for Quartararo, 5th for Vignales. Rossi ends up 6th in the World Championship. After his abysmal start, that is a fantastic result to end off the season, like with 6th place in the World Championship, right behind his teammate, after he had about 11 points after about 3 races. So fair play to Valentino there. 7th for Cal Crutchlow, then 8th for Alex Rins, 9th for Danilo Petrucci, who actually just outscores Jack Miller by 1 point. So he beats his replacement then at the factory team for next season. He beats him by 1 point. Morbidelli moves ahead of Alex Marquez, obviously after Alex crashed out in that race then. Jean-Mir 13th, 14th for Nakagami with 49 points, 15th for Bagnaia, 16th for Zarco, 17th for Tito Rabat, 18th for Paulo Espargaro, 19th for Iker Lecuona, 20th for Oliveira, who actually moves up 2 places ahead of Leicia Espargaro and Brad Binder there, and 23rd place Bradley Smith with only 4 points there. At least for Repsol Honda, they did win the team's championship. Obviously a massive gap in the end that they won by. And I think me and the Yamaha team actually scored the same amount of points because I'm still only 13 points behind them. So that's quite interesting, that one there. So obviously we won, Repsol Honda won the Constructors' Championship. 2nd place for Mission Winnow Ducati. 3rd for Mitsubishi Yamaha. 4th for ourselves with Red Bull KTM Tech 3. 5th for Tronos Yamaha SRT. 6th for Team Suzuki X-Star. 7th for LCR Honda Castrol, 8th for Pramac Racing, 9th for Real Avintia Racing, 10th for LCR Honda Idemitsu, 11th for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing, and 12th for Aprilia Racing Team Grassini then. Only 12 points picked up for that team, so they did really struggle this season. And in the Constructors' Championship then, Honda dominate to another Constructors' Championship, although only by 22 points in the end, so not quite as much ahead of ourselves. KTM in second place, third for Ducati, then fourth for Yamaha. Only 3 points between those two, so very, very close. Fifth for Suzuki with 199 points, and Aprilia just obviously getting the double digits there with 11 points. But that was close to them not getting double digits when every other team had triple digit, or every other constructor had triple digits. So Aprilia really struggling this season, so maybe they'll be a bit better for next season. I don't know. But we need to have a look at that replay. Well, we have to have a look at what happened with the Marquezes on the last lap. Absolutely ridiculous scenes. And here we go. This is the part where it happened then. Look at that wheelie, that weird-ass wheelie then. So Mark on the inside. I've hit it to Alex. And then, oh, Alex, yeah, Alex just came back onto the track and just took Mark out. So it actually was fully Alex's fault there. So it's on board with Mark then. So you can see, obviously, Rossi hits him to the outside then. We're like just sort of trying to control the wheelie here. We're going on the inside. I think we have a bit of contact with Alex. Then Alex just comes back on the track, just collects Mark, and down they go. So it actually was Alex's fault. I thought initially it might have been Mark's, but I was just sort of saying Alex took him out. But Alex actually took Mark out. So if we slow it down, then I was obviously going in for the apex. We've actually tapped Mark a little bit as we're going in. And Alex has just come around the outside, just took Mark out of the race. He's knocked his brother off at the final round. And really, Mark has been done over by Hondas this whole season. Every crash he's had has involved Honda. I mean, at Malaysia, to be fair, he just dived up the inside of Crutchline and fell off. But, wow, Mark got royally screwed over in this one. Here we go, on board with Alex then. So I've moved... Yeah, I don't really know what I was doing here. I think I've just moved over and not realised he was there, because I have straightened up. We've had massive contact with Alex there. I don't think I moved over on him intentionally, to be honest. Alex has just got on the green round the outside and tried to get the best run, because I've held everybody up, and he's just crashed into his brother and had them off. Unbelievable scenes. And that was the only crash of the race, which is really, really odd, considering how packed it was. So I wasn't trying to cause Mark to crash by backing up the pack. I was just trying to let people overtake him, but his brother did it for me. So fair enough.
Undoubtedly, it was a perfect day for him. In addition to the victory, his position also earns him 25 priceless championship points.
So then we've won the World Championship, the most chaotic race I think I've ever taken part of. And most of the chaos was caused by the fact we're back at the pack, but it does show flaws in the AI. They couldn't get past. They got past a couple times, but there is just problems where you can just dive back up the inside. That's what being really aggressive is with them. That's obviously what I was doing with Marquez in this race to make sure he didn't get to the front and get away.
Here we are for the podium ceremony. It's a weekend where everyone gave their all, but today these riders have shown that they had a little bit extra in the locker. The crowd is going wild, and finally they can enjoy this deserved moment of glory.
So jumping up onto the top step then, it is victory, shaking hands with Rossi, shaking hands with Rins. Rossi really probably should have won the race. I think he had the best pace out of everybody, because I think he other than Marquez, was the one that really had a go at overtaking me a couple times. But yeah, Marquez just unfortunately being taken out by his teammate and his brother, of course, as well. So the Marquez household will be a bit tense after this one, I'm sure. So here we are then in the garage celebrating with the team, the Tech 3 KTM team. It did not look like we were going to win the championship, but we've managed to pull it off using some very interesting tactics anyway. Hervé Poncharal is in the garage still, so quite why he's not been on the podium the last couple of times, I don't know, to be honest. But here we are, hugging every single crew member. Don't know if you'll be able to do that this season if you win the championship, obviously due to the restrictions in place. But here we go, walking to the back of the garage now, and we're going into the void once again. So here we are then, walking with the helmet, obviously the famous cutscene that we have seen twice already. We've seen it once with the DHL Honda leathers on, we've seen it once with the pink speed up leathers on, and now here we are with the Red Bull KTM Tech 3 leathers, placing down the helmet on the pedestal there. Looking over towards the trophy. Obviously this time I think it's a different trophy than it has been previously, obviously on the same pedestal, but here we go, the proper MotoGP World Championship trophy. And it's ours. It is ours for the taking. We won the championship here at the final round. So here we are then, gaining some reputation, the last reputation we'll gain this season, 10,850 reputation points, obviously with the victory and the pole position, which takes us up to 457,000 exactly. And once again, that salary, 32,863 credits, takes us up to 743,843 credits. Oh, here we go then, we're gaining some more reputation, only 25,000. Purely just because our objective was only the top 10, so we don't actually get anything extra for winning the World Championship. If you have a look at these performances then, very good at the end of the season. 7 wins right at the end, obviously there was the one at the start. The start of the season was great as well, obviously as you can see, you got 5th in the first race, that's a pretty good result for a debut, on pretty bad bite in the second, third, first, second, 9th was obviously a bit of a blip. And then we got a silver once again for 2nd place. As much as I said at some points the season was terrible, we never finished outside the top 10. So even still, it was a good season throughout. But there we go then. So in this career so far, then we've had 38 victories, 48 podiums, and 43 poles. So not too many poles, but we'd only missed out on about 3 poles or something like that before. Obviously, we missed out on majority of them this season, but we did get a few, obviously. But there we go then. That is it for this season. Obviously, there is a couple weeks left to go, and this will involve sort of sorting out a contract for the next season, which I'm going to leave till the next episode. I'm going to leave you waiting to find out what I'm doing as well. I've not quite finished the preparation for it either, so that's another reason why I'm not doing it. But I would like to keep you waiting, keep you guessing what team we're going to go with. I'll probably wait a few more days now till I do start the next season. There's probably some F1 career mode coming out, maybe some other MotoGP videos. I'll probably do some sort of montage of the season because it has been a very, very good season. It's been very, very enjoyable, and it has been unpredictable in so many aspects. Obviously, Marquez walking away with so many victories, but it all came undone. Obviously, Malaysia, fully just his own mistake. This time, his brother took him out. That's probably going to get him moved into LCR for next season, I'd assume, to make way for Polo Spagaro. But I hope you did enjoy that video then, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Obviously, the backing up, was it a bit too much? I don't know, maybe it potentially was. But I saw, obviously, everyone was saying to use the backing up tactics and to try it. I might have got a little bit overboard with it, but it was very, very interesting anyway. So it is very, very enjoyable. So I hope you did enjoy that video, like I said. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video.